He is that throne of judgment. 400 years ago, 500 years ago, if you would have approached magistrates, I really do believe you would see yet an expression in them of this. There was not yet the darkness which we now know, being the light of man. We say, well, we have entered into the age of reason. You know what we have entered into? We have entered into a purified expression of Lucifer's light, believing or causing man to believe he is ascending. Because if you go back 400 or 500 years and you listen to a magistrate, you know what he's going to make reference to in judgment? He's going to make reference to the Son of God. And you can see it all through their writings. All through the writings of kings and princes and lords. You won't find that today. It's scorned. I want you to understand now another thing. In the age which we are born, I want you to all look within. All of us have a place within us in this age where we look at the wisdom of our forefathers and we bring it to scoffing. We say it is archaic. It is natural within us. I know that seed is in every one of us. Confident of it because of how the evil one has been released in this age. It's like the fetters are coming off for him. Therefore, he is able to corrupt men at deeper and deeper and deeper levels, if you will. As sons of God, we do not sample men's reasonings. We do not sample the soundness of their thought. We sound, or we take soundings of the angels. Like Solomon said, you want to judge a man, look all the way up. You cannot see a man unless you see the one who has authority over him, and the one who has authority over him, and the one who has authority over him. We sound angels. By the Spirit of God, we say, oh, that's not God. Or we say, that's God. By the authority of the Spirit. That's the root of our judgment. Okay, now to continue. I believe, from what I have seen in spirit, that in Lucifer's kingdom he has an order of his magistrates. I do believe that you'll find some. I don't know entirely how it works, but I do believe the fear of death is one. I believe Mammonus is one. I believe that what you will find as he is ordered from the beginning, that men or the Greeks, if you will, recognized. I do believe you will find a Zeus, a father. I believe you will find a son. I believe you will find a bastardized equivalent of one that is above, having made union with one below, and out of that union comes a man of might. I do believe that. I do believe that in this age, what we are referring to, when you look outside and you see Christianity. Christianity is slowly being taken by Lucifer from God and put back into where the Greeks were, if you will, with Zeus, Apollos, Hercules, all these positions that Lucifer has. Lucifer is just pirating these names and installing, marrying to those principalities back here. You see that. So what is Mammon? Now we're going to get to the core of what I wanted to speak to Mark about. Mammon and Antichrist. I remember taking a sounding back, I believe it came through Dave, where we were at the time mentioning Mammon and the Antichrist. And I had made a comment to you once about, well, don't you see the workings of the Antichrist there in Japan? I don't know how we telephone maybe. And Dave brought back to me something later on, something you had said, which is something, well, it's different in Japan than it is in America. And I could see in that expression that Yes, Japan is different than America. However, the way you made that assessment was not by the Spirit, but by what you could perceive as a man. We have the workings of the Antichrist spirit over here, and we perceive it because we are alive in spirit. In Japan, there will also be the workings of the Antichrist spirit, and you will perceive it by the Spirit. Yes, it is going to be different. But nonetheless, it's there. Because as Lucifer begins to draw up in authority these master threads and pull the nations together, he certainly has not decided to leave Japan out. So his messengers, his ministers, they will be there. I can guarantee you there's one there who is working called Mammon. Watchman Nee was very astute in spirit when he said that there was a spirit who that God referred to as Mammon, that when Lucifer spread out his kingdom, there was the necessity for something which was the opposite. I shouldn't say the opposite. I should say the instead of faith. Before man fell, there was faith, the hearing and believing of God. There's no place else to go. Right? Well, Lucifer's got to do something in his kingdom in order to fill that gap, or make the instead of in that void, when he said, I will create a kingdom like the Most High God. I believe a spirit which is also a master mathematician. Master mathematician. As Nee said, who has the power to put a number upon all things physical. To divide all things physical into segments, to move all things physical and put upon all things physical a number. And in that enumeration, then, a man might believe upon that enumeration and find means to live outside of the faith of God. So that man might say, well, this is worth $5. Then if I can come up with $5, I might trade it for this, because this is $5. Food. Once upon a time, I relied upon the harvest of God. Now, I don't. Now I can say that according to the market standard, that's worth 99 cents or $1. I can go over there, I can exchange that for food. I can eat. I can eat. I can possess shelter. I can possess clothing. I can own. I can own without asking God. The power to do so is now available. It is found in a spirit called mammon. Like if you take a dollar bill out of a wallet, we've done this before, if you look at it, what is it? Paper and ink, arranged in a certain way. Things God created. He created the trees that yielded that paper. He created things that yielded that dye. Man arranged it in a certain thing, and that certain thing represents what? A unit of power. Now, that is a very great spirit. If you go up the chain of Lucifer's commanders, up there, he is up there. Because there are not men who escape him. Even we, everyone in this room, has done a period of indentured service to him. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something a little bit later in these scriptures where that spirit is so mighty that God looks, even himself, to see the service that men have been in to mammon, knowing that if a man has been jealous for wealth in mammon, that God knows he can bait that man with the knowledge of the wealth of the heavenly things which are greater. How will we escape mammon? What does mammon